This place is like a table set for the feast, a spread such as might be laid on by the Dark Prince himself. And perhaps he has prepared the table for us. Certainly, our Lord is close. His golden tones whisper from rude caverns. His scent hangs tantalizing in time-worn chambers, and yet he remains always obscured, forever out of reach. The unconsummated desire that every hint provokes is a delicious agony. We are no ascetics, though, to revel in a never-ending anticipation. There are delicacies aplenty here to amuse our palates, while we seek the true feast. If we are to be welcomed into his Alcazar, we must simply prove ourselves worthy guests. From the musings of Vasilac the Gifted. For all his triumphs following the Shaiish necroquake, Nagash looked out across the mortal realms with restless ambition, seeing much work to be done. Not until every realm lay beneath the cold shroud of his necrotopia would his legions know rest. Only then would the supremacy of death be established beyond doubt. Looking to Gur, the supreme lord of the undead, beheld a realm heaving with savage and primal life, its flora and fauna, even the landscape itself, locked in vigorous cycles of mutual predation. To tame Gur, to still its quick pulse and bring the hush of the grave to its hot-blooded denizens, would be the ultimate victory of death over destruction. To this end, Nagash dispatched Osiriac bone reapers of the Ivory Host to the realm of beasts. He expected his relentless phalanxes to make swift progress through that realm's unruly lands, defeating all before them through their peerless discipline and coordination. However, their mission would not prove so easy, for the wild spirit of Gur was on the rise. It began like the throbbing of distant drums. Across Gur, primitive energy swelled in the earth and the air, raising the realm's natural savagery to new heights. As the primal beat quickened, new warlords battered their way to dominance, only to be toppled by murderous rivals. Marauding tribes made pacts of convenience, then brutally devoured their allies when opportunity struck. Yet, when the Ivory Legion entered Gur, the forces of destruction rose against them, as though a realm-wide muster had been sounded. Bellowing in unison, Oryx and Ogors broke off their brawling and turned their crude weapons to the annihilation of the invaders, not pausing to wonder what power brought them together. Though few alive knew it, the awakening was not a unique event, but a primal reaction that had been triggered in earlier generations, and would be again. Nor were its effects limited to Gur's warriors. Forests creaked in agitation, eager to uproot themselves and overpower the grasslands. Rivers ran faster, deeper, breaking their ancient banks in a hunt for prey to sweep away or drown. Even the mountains stirred from slumber, shaking the snow from their peaks and, in some cases, resuming their volcanism. For Beastgrave, the advent of each previous uprising had been a time of renewal, a chance for the mountain to entice a fresh host of champions in its shadowy depths, and see in the new season with a hearty feast. Since the last great awakening, however, a ghastly blight had settled in Beastgrave's tunnels. The creeping magic of the Cataphrine curse had spread like a tapeworm through the mountain's bowels, depriving it of its usual nourishment. Despite the steady flow of adventurers that picked their way up its slopes and quested within, the mountain was denied its rightful bounty of flesh. Those who were slain amongst Beastgrave's echoing caverns returned to life once more, their revenant spirits gripped by the magic of Nagash. Driven mad by starvation and anger, Beastgrave awoke early, before Gur's primal resurgence was complete. From its cloud-wreathed summit to its deepest roots, raw emotion coursed through the awoken mountain, as its desire for superiority mingled with desperate hunger. To those who hunted and battled inside it, these energies were intoxicating. Adventurers found their grip on their own emotions loosening as Beastgrave's hunger to dominate invaded their minds. Warriors already seized by predatory instincts now felt driven to prove their primacy as hunters, while those warbands still bound together by discipline or lofty ambitions began to place the destruction of their foes above all else. The deeper into the mountain the fighters delved, the stronger these emotions became. Tunnels and caverns far from the surface echoed with furious combat as Beastgrave's rage materialized in every fighter. Nowhere was this more true than at the mountain's roots, in the abyssal reaches known as DIRECHASM. For untold years, this region has been inaccessible, filled with solid amber. But as Beastgrave woke, the resinous matter in its lowest levels liquefied and leached away, revealing sticky cavities unexplored in living memory. Descending to these deepest places, warbands became consumed by the mountain's primal emotion and fought even more rapidly over the new territories and artifacts they found. So intense was the violence that few stopped to marvel at the strange underworld the amber had revealed. Glistening passages opened into echoing voids, each one dimly lit by red light that glowed from every cleft and gully. Smaller, tomb-like rooms adjoined these, many of them rich with what might have been grave goods, or the treasures of some primeval civilization trapped in the amber before they could be retrieved. The rocky walls were hot to the touch, and the ground heaved and shifted, as though the mountain itself was on the move, one small convulsion at a time. But it was not just the shifting rock that moved in the gloom of DIRECHASM. Ancient horrors held in stasis by the amber were now free to stalk the mountain's depths. Enraged by their long imprisonment, these malicious beings prowled the deepest tunnels and caves, desperate to break their fast and build the strength they would need to exact revenge upon Beastgrave. Warbands battling through DIRECHASM caught occasional glimpses of large spined shapes moving out of the crimson light, but thought no more of them unless a comrade was later dragged screaming into the shadows. The amber of DIRECHASM had also hidden beings who had deliberately embraced the deathly sleep it offered. These were the Silent People, a mysterious race whose existence had long been speculated. Crude cave paintings and weird statuary had convinced some that the Silent People were the original excavators of Beastgrave's tunnels, or a vanished priestly caste who had filled the mountain with their offerings, or even the mountain's arcane masters. In truth, the Silent People were an intelligent migratory species that worked in symbiosis with Beastgrave and other sentient mountains. As Gur entered each period of slumber, they would gather their finest treasure and withdraw to cells they had bored far beneath the surface. In Beastgrave, they invited the mountain's oozing amber to swallow them, securing them in resinous tombs where they could safely pupate and renew their insectile forms. This time, the mountain had awoken prematurely, however, exposing the silent people in a larval stage of their hibernation. As the amber sluiced out of DIRECHASM, the silent people wriggled away to other dark places, their half-formed bodies forcing them to abandon the wondrous relics they had gathered. Soon, tunnels and caves that had been as silent as a sealed cigarette were engulfed by combat, and artifacts long dormant found new keepers, whether through courage, greed, or desperation. The mountain's prisoners fought on, their fate unknown to the realm above. This is Mats again, chiming in to thank you for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, and to not miss out on future content, ring the bell as well. And if you really liked this video, feel free to click the thanks button just below this video. And if you want to support me even further, you can now become a channel member and claim the title of Critical Focus fan. Until next time, take care, bye.